Ever since the 1939 version of Wizard of Oz, everyone has been trying to recreate the magic of what that movie had actually done for everybody. And unfortunately, I'd have to say, nothing really totally, completely, financially, or commercially worked out. Some, you may argue, were better than others. The stage plays seem to be very terrific. Some of the TV shows and different interpretations have had their mixed and awesome reviews. But never have we ever actually had one that is so dark and down and gritty that we would have actually said yes to it and said, yeah, let's see how that works out. And thus steps in Emerald City, a very dark take on the tale that we all know and love. And this is the biggest question. Is it any good? Well, I can tell you can exit everything you know about Wizard of Oz, and let's start anew. First and foremost, we have to understand one big thing. This might as well be a reimagining like Battlestar Galactica. In fact, that's the first thing I thought of. It's the same principle, same kind of story, different telling, different tone, completely different than what you would ever imagine. So if you take your ideas of what this could be classified as, it is a Game of Thrones-ish type fantasy that's more magical than it would be to Game of Thrones, and if you want to boil it down to anything, it takes itself very seriously. Does that accumulate any kind of good ideas that this thing can bring? Then you already know, because this used to be a very chipper and happy and really adventurous tale. Now we're in the realm of dark, deep, depressing, oh my goodness, I killed my family, or oh my goodness, I have troubles, and everything about me is just bad, and I need to make good. What can you have to offer? And I think the only thing about Emerald City is its new engaging tone. Yes, I said engaging, for the mere fact that it's interesting to watch everything unfold before you because they're not telling the same story the same way twice. Did you ask for it? Probably not. Did you want it? Not that either, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a chance. There's always something to say when it comes to a reinterpretation of a tale that we always know, and usually that's tiring, exhausting, and I would agree with you if there's no imagination behind it, but I feel like with the self-serious tone that they're having here, with something that I believe is worth seeing, it does put in a bit of a guilty pleasure-esque where you're kind of like, I want to see where you're going. Oh man, I gotta see what you're doing here. I kinda like ya. I kinda wish you were a little bit more happier, but at the same time, you're here. This is what you are. Let's see what you got. Now that we got all the justification out of the way, let's get to the plot. Obviously, we have our main character, Dorothy Gale, which is played by Adria Arjona. Now, I do apologize if I'm getting her name wrong. And we've got the Vincent D'Onofrio, Mr. Kingpin himself from Daredevil, joining the cast as the Wizard. The plot starts us off with two different storylines happening at the same time. From Dorothy's perspective before she gets there, and then once she arrives. Especially when she arrives, that kickstarts the wizard's side, where he has to deal with the witches. He also has to deal with his rule and what he has to do about it. But essentially, the moment Dorothy arrives, there's this whole talk about the prophecy and what that means once this outsider comes to the land of Oz. So it really kind of jumpstarts us to a time where Dorothy's not in the greatest place. You do have a few moments to connect with her to know that she's not actually really enjoying where she's at. So when she gets into a bit of a toss-up that doesn't really work out in her favor, she's in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're not entirely sure what that's going to be because you're not really going to find out. She's going to be sent to Oz any moment now, and well, what do you know? It happens. And that's okay, because everything else kind of takes a step back to show you this new, dark, deep, gritty world that everyone's keeping a pretty straight face on. I actually enjoyed what I saw, but I have my reservations. They're doing different things with these characters that we know and love. You're not seeing the Tin Man just yet. You're not seeing the Lion just yet. You may have gotten the Scarecrow, which, yes, there's someone who represents the Scarecrow, but it's not the literal interpretation. There's much more metaphoric, deeper, resonating reasons as to why this could be the Scarecrow, why this Dorothy is much more capable than than a scared little girl that just wants to go home. She's actually pretty competent. There's a nice mystery to it. There's a nice story that is unfolding before you. You're not sure where it's going to go. You're not sure what it's going to do. That really results down to what I was saying earlier. This kind of makes me curious. And I feel weird saying I liked it. I will tune in for next week's. I will wonder what's going to happen. I would have to say, give this a shot. Yes, you may not have asked for this. Yes, this may be one more dark and deep and gritty depressing thing that needs its new take because it's the 2017. We've had enough BS to last us a lifetime and we need something to relate to. Take it for what it is. This was a premiere, a 2-hour premiere, and I felt that maybe it went on a little too long. I could have benefited from maybe just an hour, make me go into the next hour for next week. But 2 hours, it set things up pretty nicely. Did grind to a halt in others, and I did enjoy some character development. I say see it, come to your own opinion, let me know what you think, and we shall go from there. I will be doing a full season review for sure on this one. I hope you guys tune in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.